Hi everyone. So it's June 25th, and I had a horrific night of microwave directed energy torture to my body. Mind you, I get tortured every single night. However, it's just a matter of degrees. It could be anything like in a level from like a 4 up to a 10. And this morning it was pretty high. So uh, it started where I was in my bedroom here. This is my bedroom, and they were burning my eyes really bad in here, and so I had to evacuate my bedroom and go out. And first, I went out in this spare living room that we have, and I tried laying in the spare living room, and the couch is just too narrow. It's not the most comfortable couch, but I tried, and I just couldn't rest. I was also being hit really hard with Havana syndrome, like this really high pitched ringing. And so then I went out to the garage, and same thing, the high pitched ringing, and it's super hot in the garage. Remember, I'm in Las Vegas. We don't have air conditioning in the garage, so even at night, it's hot. I just basically moved from room to room to room, trying to go to sleep, and I couldn't. I finally ended up taking one melatonin gel, 1 minute, one melatonin gummy, and it did literally nothing. I didn't go to sleep. It was like I didn't even take it. After several hours of going from room to room, taking the gummy, still not being able to sleep, I took a second gummy at around like 4 o'clock in the morning, and that ended up working. So I fell asleep. I came back to my bedroom here. I fell asleep on my bed, and like probably about an hour later, I was like punched in the abdominal area hard. It felt like a punch. I don't know what weapon that is, but it's some kind of directed energy weapon. It feels like you're being punched hard in the internal organs. So they punched me really hard with some kind of microwave weapon on the left lower quadrant, um, kind of like a few inches from my belly button, probably like 2 or 3 inches from my belly button. And the thing is like I was so out of it by then after taking two melatonin gummies. I I just couldn't wake up enough to get out of bed. I was like exhausted. I had been up all night trying to get away from the torture. And every like 10 minutes or so, they would pulse this area in my abdomen like super hard. I feel like I was being punched in the stomach. And finally, I kept moving around. I got up and I dragged myself out of bed, back to another area, and I tried sleeping there. And it was just a nightmare. The whole night was a nightmare of being groggy from the melatonin, um, dealing with being punched in the gut repeatedly over and over for having done literally nothing. And I finally fell asleep for like an hour or two. I woke up about 10:30 a.m. Um, they began pulsing me again in the same area, and I had to wake up, so I dragged myself out to my car, and I drove to Starbucks and bought coffee. Brought it back, and I drank the coffee to try to wake up from the melatonin. I noticed that when I left the house, I was pulsed. When I turned the corner of my street, I was pulsed again. On the corner, on the street corner, when we left the gates, the security gates, I drove out, went up to Jones Boulevard, and I got pulsed again on that corner. And I got pulsed a few times when I went out to Starbucks. So anyway, I came back and they kind of started leaving me alone. Well, then tonight happened again. I left. I decided to go to Albertsons. Is it Vons or Albertsons? I don't know. Probably Albertsons. And they started pulsing me while I was driving to Albertsons, pulsing me in the abdominal area, the same exact spot. And I'm sure that there's probably an implant or a semiconductor there, or maybe that hard punch was them putting it there, because they've never attacked me in that area before until today. While I was shopping, they were pulsing me every so often while I was in the store, pulsing that implant. And so that's what they've been, that's been my day. That it hurts, like they could have killed me. This is an implant embedded within my internal organs. A lot of TIs just get surface level torture. They may get like surface level skin burns, surface level. Mine is like scalar. It goes all the way through the skin, into the fascia, into the organs, into the muscle, into the tendons, and all the way to the bone. And they have created havoc in my whole abdominal area. They've given me a hiatal hernia. Over the years, they've given me a hiatal hernia. They attacked my shoulders, and I have a torn labrum in both shoulders. That labrum is part of your cartilage in your shoulder. And I have several labral tears in my shoulder, both shoulders, from the perps zapping my shoulders a lot back in the early years of my targeting torture. I have a lot of physical injuries caused by the perpetrators with directed energy weapons. And I hope I'm not bleeding internally, because when I say punched me in the gut, it was hard enough to kill me. I'm lucky I didn't die, so I'm just going to call that attack today, all day, attempted murder.